Ministry is not glory for me. What I'm doing is not what I wanted to do, okay? I pastor out of obedience. I preach out of obedience. I don't do it out of my natural desire, right? I had no desire to pastor a church. I had no desire to prepare an oral presentation every week of my life. I had no desire to be dealing with the same community of people every week of my life. These things were not my desire. So for me, ministry is a cross that I bear. It is not glory for me. It is not a pathway to fame. It's not a pathway to success. It's not a pathway to wealth. It's not a pathway to any of that stuff. For me, picking up the scriptures every Sunday and proclaiming this word, every time I do that, I'm carrying a cross. I am doing it out of obedience to Christ. It's because what he told me to do. This is not my desire. It's not what I wanted. Now, I love to serve him, and I will do whatever he tells me to do until he calls me home. This was not the pathway I chose for myself, right? I had one desire when the Lord saved me. One. Because Billy Graham is my favorite preacher after Jesus and Paul, I wanted to be like Billy Graham, right? I get most excited when I'm talking about heaven and hell. I get most excited when I'm talking about the cross. And so I didn't want it to be in a local community every week. I wanted to be like Billy Graham. I wanted to just travel and preach the gospel until I died. Like, Lord, I want to be, watch this, I want to be an evangelist. That's what I said to God when I got saved. Oh, I was reading Ephesians. Oh, I see you got these different, oh, you got apostles and prophets and teachers, and I want to be this one right here. I want to be an evangelist. Why? I don't want to be in a local church. I just want to travel, preach the gospel, preach the cross, because I love the cross. I just want to preach the cross for the rest of my life. And I remember when God told me, no. You're going to be a pastor of a local church. And you know what I did when I got that call? Watch this. Rejected. April 14th. See, I know the date. April 14th, 2004 is when God told me, you're going to be a pastor of a local church. And you know what? You know how I responded to that? I had the Jonah anointing. I ran from that for 4 years. I want no part of that. Until I'm in Ohio and Bible college. And the preacher's preaching. And I'm in the back of the room. And he says, there's somebody in the room right now, God is saying to you, he's called you to do something that you've been running from. And God says to you, if you don't surrender tonight, he won't use you for anything in his kingdom. Man, I fell down on my hands and my knees in the back of that gathering. And I said, okay, Lord, it's been 4 years. I surrender. So me getting up this Sunday coming to preach, that's surrender. That's a cross. That's obedience. That's not glory. That's not trying to get to a bag. That's not trying to be famous. That's not trying to get to a platform.